Do these mic shields actually do anything? Let's find out. Welcome to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Neewer Mic Shield and seeing if it actually makes a difference and if it's worth the investment in buying it rather than buying sound blankets, stuff like this, moving blankets like you see, and building something that's probably more useful. Because from my little experience that I've had with this, it's okay. It does a little bit. But I'm going to give this one to you guys. I'm going to give you the tests. I'm going to just show you everything. I have my opinions. This is all up to you. So let's see if this is worth the investment. So first off, let's get a lay of the land. My little studio here, mildly treated. Obviously, you see moving blankets and sound blankets around, so it's softer than your normal room. Obviously, it has some stuff in the room, actually a lot of stuff, so not a lot of reflection back, but it's not exactly soundproof. The next thing is we have the AT4040 here, and I feel like this is a good middle-of-the-road kind of microphone, meaning that it's not too cheap, and it's also not really expensive. It's middle of the road, intermediate as I like to call it. But regardless of the microphone, it really doesn't matter about the microphone that I use when it comes to the mic shield. The mic shield itself is really just supposed to reduce reflection back. And Mike Delgadio from Boot Junkie pointed this out when he was talking about a mic shield that he had. I forget which one he had. It was that silver one that looks like a dome, but half a dome. But regardless of what it is, it's supposed to reduce reflection back. And if it's a cardioid polar pattern, it's already rejecting the back and the sides. Maybe it reduces a little bit more, but from my experience, it really hasn't made much of a difference. So the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that it has adjustments. These walls here, they adjust, they go flat, they go more narrow. Let's see if it actually makes a difference. So let's go a little more flat. So this is just going to reject anything coming back to here. And you can see that it's made out of metal here. It's actually a pretty well-built shield, but as far as functionality, I'm going to leave that up to you if it actually makes a difference. And obviously, I'm going to show you an A/B test with a regular mic stand with no shield. But I'm going to do that after this test. Now, let's go more narrow. I did middle of the road last time. Like it was kind of like in the middle. Now it's very narrow. Right, it's basically touching the shock mount of the microphone right now. And this is what it's going to sound like. Maybe it makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't. You're going to know in the test when we just get a regular mic stand. And if you've been here before, I don't use the mic shield. So you'll know from previous videos how it sounds in this room naturally. Okay, so now we took off the shield, and this is what it's going to sound like without a apparatus around it, and what it is normally in the studio, what I usually use. And for the most part, no one's ever said anything. No one's ever like pointed out like, oh, it's too reflective or whatever it may be. I mean, of course, I'm right up on the microphone, and it's not like ways away. Like if I go a little bit further, you're probably going to hear a little bit more noise of the room. So I'm further away now. I'm like 2-3 feet away. And this is what it's going to sound like if I go a little bit further away. But that's not the point of this. The point is being on it. If you're using a mic shield or if you're using a microphone, chances are you're going to be on it. And there are plenty of tests that I could do. There are plenty of things that I could do. But unfortunately, I can't give you every example because, one, I can't think of every example. And two, there's not enough time in this video. So this is the test without the shield in the studio. And the next thing is we're going to go into the booth and then eventually into the untreated room where I think most people are going to be utilizing this and making a attempt to having a treated environment. All right, so we're in the booth right now with the AT4040 and the mic shield set up. This is my booth here, much bigger than my old booth, but I feel like it's more, a lot more air, for lack of better terms, because it felt confined when I was using the other one, which it made sense because it's small. But now it's probably like twice the size, and the moving blankets and the sound blankets that I have, I might get another sound blanket just so I can make it all sound blanket. And you probably hear the dryer going on in the other room, which is unfortunate because there's only so much I can do. Unfortunately, a sound booth like this does not reduce outside noise. It does, but it doesn't. The main purpose of it is to reduce reflections. And if there's no outside noise, if there's no one doing laundry, if there's no one walking upstairs, it works great. But for the most part, this is the way it's going to be. So the point of this is, can you give an extra layer to this? So most of the noise is coming from the that way direction. And obviously, we got pads all around us, the sound blankets and the moving blankets. And we're going to do the same test that we did before. So we got 45 degrees, roughly about what most people would have it at. We're going to do flat now. This is what it's going to sound like. And it's not necessarily something that I would use. Like if you have a booth or if you have something like this, chances are you're not buying a extra thing. You already I would invest, probably instead of spending the whatever it is, 40, 50 bucks on this, I would probably spend it on another sound blanket. I mean, or spend it on a better mic stand or whatever it is. Divvy it up however you want. But I feel like it's not going to be as useful if you're already investing the money in something like this. Now we're going to go narrow, right up against it, like boxed around the mic, even though it's not directly, because of the shock mount, it's not directly there. So, yeah. The other thing I want to point out is I didn't do a setup on this. This is just an audio test. This is just examples. If you're interested in a setup, I made a YouTube short, showing you how to set it up because there's not much to it. And I didn't want to waste anyone's time by setting it up because chances are if I was to do it that way, I would be too wordy in explaining it. By reducing my time, I reduce the banter. And it also gets to the point pretty quickly. It's putting it on a stand. Couple of adapters, couple of rods, it's easy. So go check that out if you haven't already. Now before we go to the untreated room, let's take the mic shield off and show you how it is without it. Alright, so mic shield is off. This is the booth naturally. And obviously I have laundry going on in the other room. This could be something you have to deal with as well. I mean, everyone has their little thing in their house, their little thing in their studio and surrounding area around their studio. That's an issue. Ideally, I wouldn't do this with the dryer going on and clanking and everything like that, but I want to make this relative and understand that it will not reduce any noise outside of it, as far as like if someone walked around upstairs, you're going to hear the footsteps. If a dryer is going on in the other room, you're going to hear some of it. Now, of course, it's not much. It's very small, and obviously I'm hearing a lot more of it because my ears are picking up more than this microphone. Right now, it's in the dead zone of the microphone, and it's rejection. It's not canceling. All right, so next up, we are going to the untreated room, where I think it's probably more relative to most people using this mic shield and seeing if it actually makes much of a difference. I haven't used the mic shield in an untreated room, but from my examples here and from what I've experienced, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but this video is for you guys and what you think of it. So let's go to the untreated room. Okay, so we're in the untreated room, aka my bedroom. And I have a couple of angles I want to try out with this. And we have the microphone on the stand with the mic shield facing a wall with a lot of stuff on it. Probably not going to make much of a difference. because there's not going to be a lot of reflection back because of all the stuff. This wall is flat, as you can see, and that wall is further away, so maybe some echo around the surrounding area, maybe some echo off the ceiling. So we're going to go through each one and do an A/B test with and without. So I'm going to be going back and forth and obviously be recording all this stuff with the mic shield at once and then without the mic shield at once, but you'll see it in the edit as A/B so that it's a little easier so you can understand how it sounds in an area like this. Alright, so this is the B test without the mic shield, speaking towards the wall with a lot of shelves and things on it. So this wall will not have a lot of reflection back because it's not flat, and it might have some echo of the room, but it's not going to have reflection back. Of course, this is a cardioid polar pattern, so it should reject the back and the sides. This also is an AT4040, in which case it's pretty good at rejecting off-axis stuff. Alright, so now I'm facing the wall here where the flat wall, the flattest wall of the room is, other than the ceiling, of course. And this is what it's going to be like, me speaking in a decent distance. It's not like right up on it and not literally like eating it. It's just about the right distance. They say that it like 4-6 inches away from a condenser is the right distance, but it also depends on what you're looking for, what kind of performance you're looking for. I gotta be honest, this is actually good to experiment with different camera angles. I don't know why, but I've been wanting to do it for a while. So being lazy makes you be more experimentative. I don't know, but I'm speaking towards the wall with the flatness, like the new wall, which is pretty sweet. Alright, so now I'm facing that wall that you were seeing before. Pretty flat, but has some stuff on it. Not a lot of surfaces that can be soft, that are soft. So the A/B test would be good for this one because that's going to be a flat wall. And when this is not on here, you might have some reflection back. But remember, it's a cardioid polar pattern, so keep that in mind. Alright, so speaking towards the flat wall there, a little bit of stuff in the room, on the walls I should say, but they're all flat stuff, so it shouldn't be like treated, quote unquote. This is just a way of just explaining this. There's a couple of posters, there's the clock, and not a lot of stuff that's absorbent. Just my bed, I guess, there, but the wall is there too, so consider that with this A/B test between the two. And I said this before, this is for like a voiceover situation. Obviously, I'm not singing, I'm not belting, I'm not doing anything like that. So this is what it's going to sound like with a normal tone, normal voice. And if you want any other examples, all you got to do is ask, and I can throw out a short, I could throw out something quick, or something, anything. Just if you make a request, I can go ahead and do it. I can't guarantee when it's going to come out, but I could do my best to get it out as soon as possible. Just because I'm lazy and I don't want to move anything. This is the example of the further away wall. That wall is about like 6 to 8 feet away. And this is what it's going to sound like with me speaking into the mic with the mic shield. And see if the other test, the B test of not having the mic shield, will have more reflection back. And of course, this microphone, as I've seen in a lot of examples that I've given and a lot of examples that I've tested, it has good off-axis rejection, and I'm very surprised with this one. Maybe it's because of the low presence, it doesn't have a lot of reflection, but it might be the fact that it's just a higher quality microphone compared to your $100 or $200 microphone. So I definitely like the fact that the AT4040 has good off-axis rejection, and surprisingly good for broadcast. Alright, last test in the A/B tests. This is the long distance one. Obviously, this is like 6 feet away. I say obviously because I'm thinking of what I said before, which I don't remember. I can't remember half the stuff I say. But this is about 6 feet to the other wall. And then obviously that wall's about like 2 feet away from me right here. And this is what it's going to sound like with a distance in between the back of the microphone and the other side of the room. There's a lot of stuff over there, so it shouldn't be too reflective, but there is a flat ceiling, so consider that as well. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go back down to the studio. I'm going to listen to this a little bit and maybe give you a little bit of a insight on how I feel. I mean, I've given my insight throughout this video, but I want to see how it is now after these tests. Maybe my opinion will change, or maybe these environments were different than what I'm used to from what I've heard in the past. And that is the Neewer Mic Shield, the 3-panel one. I know they make a couple others. And I feel like with the AT4040, it didn't make that much of a difference. I think the off-X rejection is really good, and the reason why I chose this is because it's a middle-of-the-road microphone, as I said at the beginning of the video. Now, I could throw a lot more microphones on this thing, so if you're interested in any other microphones being used with this mic shield, let me know down in the comments and I can put it on the list. I do plan on making a follow-up with this with a bunch of microphones, a little quicker video, like here's the examples and then move on, and less explanation, but that's in the future. And if more people ask for it, then I will definitely do it sooner rather than later. So my final verdict as of right now, I really don't think it's worth it. I do have some applications I'm curious about, but I haven't really had a chance to try it in those certain scenarios. So until that time comes, I will say it's really not that great of an investment. It's not that expensive, but I really don't think it does much. I think you'd be better off trying to position your microphone a little bit better and use better treatment around your room. Just my opinion. If you feel differently, let's have a discussion in the comments. And that all being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Helps this video, helps this channel. The whole YouTube algorithm thing, it really does make a difference. And I obviously said, please leave comments. We'll have a discussion about this thing. If you have a different one, let me know, and we can talk about that as well. If you have any other mic shields that are affordable, maybe I could pick one up and do a comparison. All options, all definitely options, and I'll put it on the list. Can't say I'm going to get to it soon, but I'll try. And one last thing, if you like my vibe around here, please consider subscribing. It will be greatly appreciated. We are just about at 1,800 subs right now, well on our way to 2,000. I'm hoping to get to 2,000 before my birthday, which is end of October, so that'll be kind of cool. And yeah, I think at 2,000, I'm going to do a 24-hour stream. I'm saying it right now because I got to keep myself to it. I've always wanted to do one, and I'm probably going to regret it when it's over, but I've always wanted to do one, so I think 2,000 would be a good time to do it. And that's all I got for you. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you rebels in the next video.